Okay, doing my update. It's Tuesday, so November 12th, 2019. I had my surgery on November 8th, on a Friday. So just a couple days later, actually took my last narcotic last night. It was just a half pill instead of the two every 4 to 6 hours. The pain is still a sore, but it's actually not that bad. I've gone complete without the oxycodone. I haven't even taken any Tylenol today. I may take some Tylenol tonight just to help out a little bit, but I've also got the ice machine. I think that's where the biggest thing helps out the most on this is that cooling machine, and I'll try to put a video in here. But it's basically a tub filled with water. You take some frozen water, just your regular water bottles. I usually put about 3 or 4 of those things in there, and it's got a little hose that goes up to there, and it just pulls cool water, and it really helps with that swelling. And I think they say like 30 minutes, 5 to 6 times a day. So really, actually not too bad. Yesterday I took the ginormous pressure bandage on there. I'll probably post some pictures of what it looks like. This is just the sling on there. The one thing they have you doing after the just a couple times a day is just the bicep and the elephant curl kind of thing. And you can definitely feel the tightness. I mean, I can definitely say I got a couple months of physical therapy going through there, but pain-wise, really not that bad. Again, sorry the shirt's on there. I just been putting just circular bandages over there. What they say is my surgeon said I could actually even shower, just don't immerse it. But just to play it safe, what I just done, I've been using baby wipes around here. I put a new bandage on there daily, and I just leave it a little bit of vent in there so it can air, just get the air through there. So really all I had was probably like a 2-inch incision here, and maybe a size of a quarter on each side incision. That's it. It's still pretty swollen. It's going to probably be swollen for a little bit just because of the surgery for it. But the worry I had for it, this is actually, I'm very happy I did the surgery. And again, it's just a couple days into it. I know there's some videos where people complaining about nausea, constant pain, all that. I haven't been through that. And again, what I think I had was, at least the surgeon who just did mine said mine was probably closer to a grade 5. And I'm glad I didn't listen to the first orthopedic doc I saw who said it was a grade 3, because I probably would have lived with it, and that pain was just constant every now and then. And I could just feel the skin pulling on there. So I'm really hoping with the good results with this. I can already see an evenness of the shoulder compared to what it was before. So really, like I said, we're just trying to do this video series, just encourage people to do it, because I know I was watching like every YouTube video on the planet. Again, the one I had was and I don't know the terminology for it, I apologize, I probably should write it down, but it's where they basically put the Kevlar suture with titanium, it looks like grommets or washers at the very end of them. It's a 2.5 centimeter hole, because I know my surgeon told me on that one, they pull it together, and then they just basically take a Godiva tendon and tie it around there, and they said they've had really good successes with it. So the big thing, I need to make sure I don't have the frozen shoulder, but I'm not worried about it. I've been really staying up on my home range of motion exercises. So encouraging people, if you have this type of injury with it, again, mine was mountain biking. It wasn't even something cool. I'll try to post that video in there. I literally wasn't paying attention, hit a rock. And to be up front, from hiking the Grand Canyon, Pikes Peak, all the mountain biking I've done in my years, all the snowboarding I've done with this year's, I'm shocked I haven't gotten this before. All the falls and all the stupid stuff I've done. It literally was me not paying attention to a rock that got me on this. Nothing crazy or anything else like that. It's actually kind of embarrassing, but just kind of funny what you take for granted, like the scariest stuff you do, you think you can get hurt on. That's not what gets you. It's the complacency that gets you. So, but yeah, just encouraging people who have this type of injury. If you want to message me on the YouTube thing, I'll try to check every now and then. But like I said, I waited for 2 months. I almost went ahead and just lived with this, just because of the first orthopedic doc I saw. The key thing I would encourage folks to check on is find out basically how many of these surgeries that your surgeon has done. The first orthopedic doc I found out afterwards, after he told me to live with it, just kind of talking with his office, and he doesn't do very many of these. So that's not the guy you want doing something like this. It's a sports related. You want to find somebody who's a sport related orthopedic surgeon, not just somebody who has a name on the title of the building. If you go in there and there's a bunch of old people there, probably not what you want to do for something that's an active related injury. I'd go find the guy who's working on like some kind of professional sports team, or if you're in Colorado, I'm sure they probably have tons of these because of mountain biking over there. I live in Kansas, near Kansas City, so we have mountain biking, but nothing as strenuous like you do out in the mountains in Colorado. So just again, encouraging if you have an AC separation surgery. I went through 4 orthopedic docs. The first one I went to twice, and I almost lived with it. Got a second opinion. The second one kind of followed with the first one, but he didn't really do a lot of the surgeries either. So I found somebody who was actually more in an active role, and I found 2 surgeons that I kind of started from square one again, and I felt more confident talking with them that this was something that could be repairable. I shouldn't say easy. They did tell me, up front, like, hey, it could take a 6-month recovery. It's just kind of depending on the type of person you are. I'm hoping to get this done by March, but I'm not going to try to go crazy with it too. I'm just lucky in my profession that I can work a desk job while I heal up and then have to get back into it. I do live an active lifestyle. And again, I've said it before, I'm in law enforcement, so there's requirements I have to have on there. With this surgery, that was my biggest thing, was my scaredness of there was a range of motion aspect to it, to be able to continue my career. The surgeons I felt, one, like I said, the guy who did mine works on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's like, look, we do these surgeries for Chiefs players, all those other active sports folks all the time, and they get their range of motion back. So I felt confident. So again, just encouraging you, if you're doing this, really get informed. I know you're probably going to look at all the YouTube videos and Google searches and all that other stuff. The one I felt more confident with, and I don't know how it'll be years down the road, but it seemed like the one with the less complications was the one where they drill a hole through this, like the 2.5 centimeter with the sutures, and then they basically wrap the outside of that with a tendon. The reason being is that they have to put that cadaver tendon on the inside of that. They make that hole like 4 centimeters, and which leads to more issues of that bone cracking. I actually had a friend I work with who had the same type of surgery, except he didn't have the cadaver tendon on the outside. It was just the sutures, and his sutures basically expanded, and that has popped up a little bit. It's not as bad as what it was. So I felt even better the fact this guy was wrapping a cadaver tendon around there. In the process, they do those tendons. I felt pretty good about it. The way they freeze those, they make sure there's no bile left alive that could give you some kind of infection issue. There's always complications in any kind of surgery, but I felt very good. So make sure you have a surgeon that you can really ask all those questions. I asked about the frozen shoulders and what kind of pain and all this other stuff. So I think I got myself more scared just watching all the YouTube and Googling as much as it is. But hey, when you don't know, and we're in the world of Dr. Googles and whatnot, you want to feel as confident as you can. So that's why I'm making this video series. Again, had surgery Friday. It's just a couple of days later on Tuesday. Still in my sling, going to be in a sling for a while, but like I said, I can feel the swelling in there, and I can definitely feel the pain where it's in there, but it's not intolerable. Like I said, I'm off the narcs because I want to poop, because that sucks, taking narcotics. So I'm off of that, but again, so glad I do this surgery. Hopefully I'll say that in a couple months, and yeah, so